Hello everyone, my name is Reagan Shaw. The date is December 21st, 2019. You can see that. And today I will be discussing the role of the pancreas and the liver in regulating digestion. So a quick little overview of digestion in general is it starts in the mouth or even in the brain because of the cephalic phase, causing salivation and stomach grumbling, etc. But in the mouth, you chew and everything, and then the food is swallowed into the throat, which then goes into the esophagus through a mechanism called peristalsis. It then enters the stomach, gets mixed and churned, and then it flows into the duodenum right here, and is chemically broken down by the pancreas, gallbladder, and liver, which is what we will be focusing on today. And the digestion then continues into the small intestine, large intestine, and lastly, the anus, where the journey ends. So, the duodenum is the curvy first part of the small intestine that immediately follows the stomach. At this point in digestion, the food has been swallowed, and through peristalsis, the food or the lump of food called a bolus travels down our esophagus and into our stomach. So our stomach churns and mixes up the bolus into a substance we call chyme, which is a watery and pasty substance of food, mucus, and gastric juices, which is then passed into our duodenum. This chyme is very, very acidic, so the chyme must undergo much chemical digestion within the duodenum so that the substances can continue to break down and become usable nutrients for our body. This happens through the pancreas, the liver, and the gallbladder working together to neutralize this acidic substance and break it down so pancreatic enzymes can further digest it. So the gallbladder is a little green sac, essentially, that sits underneath of the liver, right there, and it houses and concentrates bile that is produced by the liver. So bile is essential in digestion. It contains bile salts, which you can see right here, bile pigments, and cholesterol that will all work together to break down or emulsify the fat into smaller droplets that lipase can then act on and further digest. Without bile, fat droplets would be too large for lipase to digest and would cause some stomach and bowel issues. Bile leaves the liver and goes into something called the hepatic duct, where it then chooses whether to go into the gallbladder for storage and concentration, or it can go straight down the bile duct into the duodenum to emulsify the fat. When the bile is in the duodenum, you can see the little diagram in the bottom left right here. The salts contain something called sodium hydrogen carbonate, which reduces the surface tension of the fat globules and really breaks them down, as you can see in this diagram right here. So the pancreas is a very large and soft and squishy gland behind the stomach that secretes digestive enzymes into the duodenum and hormones into the blood. So this makes the pancreas both an endocrine and an exocrine gland. So the pancreas has a pancreatic duct that flows into the duodenum, and this is where the digestive enzymes flow into. So the pancreatic duct also secretes bicarbonate ions, kind of like bile, which neutralize the acidic chyme, which is very acidic, neutralizes it from a pH of 2 to about an 8. So it's much more neutral and even a little bit alkaline. The digestive enzymes originating from lobules called acini within the pancreas, they flow out of the pancreatic duct and into the duodenum. And these enzymes are called amylase, which breaks down starch, lipase, which breaks down fat, which is emulsified by the bile, and then proteases such as trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase that break down proteins. So that's the exocrine aspect of the pancreas, is the digestive enzymes, because those flow into the duodenum, where the pancreas also has an endocrine part, which is when it secretes the hormones, insulin and glucagon, and secretes those straight into the bloodstream. And that's what makes the pancreas exocrine and endocrine. So These hormones, glucagon and insulin, come from isolates in the pancreas, and the hormones work to essentially control our blood sugar levels. So here's a closer look at the pancreas, or pretty much everything we've been talking about. Here is a closer look. So you can see the stomach, and then the duodenum, which is immediately after the stomach. This yellow squishy gland is the pancreas, and this green duct is the pancreatic duct. And you can see that the duct cells are secreting sodium bicarbonate to neutralize the acid. And then you can see the acini cells, which are secreting the digestive enzymes, amylase, proteases, lipase. And those are all going straight into the duodenum. And then the endocrine portion of the pancreas, the isolates, you can see, those do not secrete into the pancreatic duct. Those go straight into the bloodstream. The hormones, insulin, and glucagon, you can see right here, they go straight into the bloodstream, which makes that the endocrine part of the pancreas. So that's just a better look at everything. And then, so just for further clarification of the function of the digestive enzymes secreted by the pancreas. So, amylase is secreted by the pancreas, and that acts on starch molecules and turns those into sugar molecules. And then there is lipase, which acts on the fat molecules, which were emulsified by the bile. And it turns those fat molecules into fatty acid molecules or glycerol molecules. And then lastly, there are proteases that act on protein molecules and turn them into amino acid molecules. So this just goes to show how essential our pancreas is, secreting these enzymes that we absolutely need. So in summary, let's recap. We know the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas are essential to the digestive system. The stomach turns our bolus of food into an acidic, watery, pasty substance called chyme that then travels into our duodenum. Bile, produced by the liver, is then excreted through the bile duct into the duodenum to emulsify the fat globules and neutralize the gastric juices because they are extremely acidic. The bicarbonate is secreted from the pancreatic duct, which also helps to neutralize the acidic chyme in gastric juices. And then the digestive enzymes that flow out of the pancreatic duct include amylase, lipase, and proteases that break down macromolecules respectively. And lastly, hormones secreted by the pancreas regulate our blood sugar. And that's about it. That is why the pancreas, the liver, the gallbladder, the duodenum are all extremely important within the digestive system. They all work together extremely well, which is awesome for us. So, yeah, that is how the pancreas and the liver work together to regulate our digestive system. And here are my references for the pictures that I used. All right. Thank you so much for listening.